Can everyone hear me? Right, well, good morning everyone. My name is Fletcher. No relation to that gentleman there or the singer out of the fly. I'm a PPC Executive currently working for Jet2.com and Jet2 Holidays in Leeds. And I'm here today to tell you a little bit about how we are using Adthena to drive improvements in paid search. First, to give you a little bit of background about Jet2. Those of you who live down south, you might not have been too familiar with Jet2 until recent years. We're a northern-based airline, based in Leeds, and we do package holidays and we do flights from 9 different airports. We've recently opened one in London Stansted, and we are now the second largest tour operator in the country. We overtook Thomas Cook. We're still a bit behind TUI, but we are working on it very hard. There's 3 main challenges which I'm going to tell you about today and how Adthena helps you to tackle these. The first one is growth expectations, which, let's face it, every business has. You want your growth to be sustainable, you want it to be cost effective, and you want it to be as big as possible. And for a PPC exec, the main way we do this is by researching new keywords, finding out the best ways to increase our reach. The second challenge is really understanding what our target market is. Now, this includes available search terms, this includes who our key competitors are, what they're saying in their ads, what search terms they're using. And it's also, one thing Adthena has told us which is very interesting is that your traditional competitors, that is the ones that the CEO might be most interested in, are not necessarily your main competitors online. And the third challenge is to protect our brand. Now, as your brand grows, so does the list of people who want to try and jump onto search. As I mentioned, Jet2 is growing very quickly, particularly the holiday side of the business. And we're also moving down south now. We're now based in Stansted. And the result of that is we get more and more people who are deciding to bid on Jet2 terms. And one of the challenges is trying to reduce the damage that causes. So this is all about how Adthena helps us do that. So first I'm going to take you through some stuff about market share analysis. What this does is we can identify our target market using a combination of our own search term library and Adthena's market share reports. Now, there's 2 views available, which I'm sure anyone familiar with Adthena knows about these. There's the whole of market and my terms. These are the 2 that we use. My terms are exactly what it says on the tin. It's based on the search terms that we are targeting, that we have specified. What whole of market does is it expands this to include not only our search terms, but the search terms of our competitors and what Adthena has seen as relevant. In terms of use for these, I hope everyone can see this, the text might be a bit small, but for whole of market, it's invaluable for keyword research, broad competitor ad analysis, understanding the relative scale. It could be that we think we have great coverage, but we might not scratch the surface, and whole of market will help us see how big that market is. And ultimately, it facilitates research and growth in new areas outside of our existing search terms. My terms is a bit more useful as a performance indicator. Now, the reason for this is we only, as an airline and tour operator, we only service certain routes, certain destinations. It's all good and well as targeting the whole of Spain, but we don't fly to Madrid, for example. So we don't necessarily want to see all of the Spain keywords that are relevant to Spain. We might want to narrow that down, and that's where using our own search terms as a kind of basis for this is very useful. And we can also understand who our main competition is in that space, and ultimately facilitate competitive performance within our targeting. So how do we use Adthena to discover new keywords? One of my favourite tools in Adthena, and one of the favourites of my boss, is the head-to-head comparison tool, because it is a fantastic visual aid which combines with the search term detail reports to help us identify keyword opportunities, but also shows us a visual of how our search coverage compares to key competitors. So here's an example of one of these. As you can see, it's always nice to see your bubble as the biggest, but we have 2 key competitors here. Now, it's good that we are the biggest, but as you can see here, there are some areas where they're getting unique search terms in that we are not. So the challenge is find out what's in there is it relevant to us? And if it is, build it out and optimize it. But of course, this is all search terms. This is, when you consider a travel company that goes to as many places as we do, drilling down into that, it's going to be enormous. So what we do is we break this down into subsections. Now this is a very nice one. I like this one. So this is our Spain search term. As you can see, our coverage here is pretty, I'm not standing in the way now, it's pretty much comprehensive. There's a little bit of opportunity here still, but this is an example of what we want that chart to look like. So for the case study, we've been recently working on Lanzarote as a key destination. Now this was the head-to-head competitor chart for Lanzarote. Once again, we are the biggest, but as you can see, there's plenty of opportunities here, competitor A and B. So what we do is we drill down into this and we find out how many search terms there are to play with here. Now, I don't know if anyone can see this, but competitor A has a total of 379 search terms, 85% of which are shared, which means there's 15% there which are unique to them, no one else is touching. And what we want to do is we want to drill down into those, see what we can take. So we download this, and we can cross-reference the downloaded file with one of our search query reports, see what is in there that we are not picking up, decide if it's relevant. It might not be. It could be the case that there's some Lanzarote resorts in there that we don't service, so we don't want to target those. And ultimately we build those out and we follow the usual optimization processes for those. And this, of course, is only one of our many destinations and routes and markets that we want to look at. So what is the result of this? So in April of 2017, it's cut off slightly, but we were in third place for the Lanzarote market we were looking at. It's not bad, but not great. We ideally want to be number one. And you can guess what happens next. In July, we're number one, which is a 51% jump in click share in this market, which it's a huge number. It's something we were really pleased about. And of course, that sort of progress is exactly what your head of marketing wants to see. And Adthena helps to do that, basically. And this is just Lanzarote, of course. We can do this for every single sort of destination or area that we service, and you can imagine what the overall impact of this can be if this is done in a comprehensive way like that. So I'm going to move on now to how to protect our brand. Now, as I mentioned before, the more your brand grows, and the more particularly smaller advertisers will think, oh, let's get a cheap click, let's stick them in there. Or if they ask us to stop, we'll just stop. We might get some quick traffic in that way. As our brand grows, we have that more and more of a problem. Now, Adthena has some very nice automated daily infringement reports that we use in order to find out who is bidding on our brand terms, and it gives us the information we need to try and stop them doing that. You won't be able to see these, but there's some examples here of the infringement rules that we have. These include Google, Bing, desktop, mobile, and also misspellings. You get a lot of Jet2 Holidays, for example, thinking that if they're bidding on that, we're not going to see it, because it's not Jet2 Holidays, but this helps us pick them up. Some of the information that we get from these includes the time and date. Now, this is really important because you'll be surprised how many competitors will start bidding on your brand in the middle of the night or out of work hour because they assume no one's checking the search. No one's checking the search, but we don't have to, which is one of the beauty of it. Okay, we also get the search terms, obviously, that they're looking at. We get the ad copy that they're using. Now, sometimes you'll find that the advertiser is actually using one of our trademark terms in the ad copy, which is also something that we need to tackle. It gives us the tracking URLs, which is the evidence required by Google or Bing if we want to put a complaint in and have these ads taken down. Also gives us the position of the ad, which gives us a good idea of the potential impact that they're having. If they're at the bottom of page 2, probably not doing much harm, but if they're at number 2 on page 1, then that's a problem, especially for a strategic brand term. Finally, they give us a link for screenshot evidence. Now, this is really handy because a lot of the time Google they'll basically ask for a screenshot, and if you're picking up ads that are running at 9 o'clock in the evening when you're not at work. You don't want to spend all night doing searches to try and find one in the ad. This means we don't have to. Whatever the time of day, and for every example, there is a screenshot link which we can attach to our complaint email and get that sorted out. So how does this actually help in practice? Well, I'm going to show you some more market share views, this time for our brand space. Now, this is for Jet2.com rather than Jet2 Holidays. And in April 2017, our paid mobile brand share, I mean, we have the vast majority, but as you can see, there is still a sizable chunk of other competitors there, which, for a brand space, we want that to be as small as possible. Skip forward to July, and we've almost eradicated them completely. You're never going to permanently stop anyone from bidding on your brand because there's some ways in which Google lets people. You know, if it's offering if it's indirectly contributing to sales of our products, they usually let them. If it's offering information such as reviews, they usually let them. But as you can see, what we've been able to do is we've been able to clear up our brand space quite significantly by using this tool. There's a brand click share increase of 4%, but when it's that much of a brand click share in the first place, 4% is actually a very big jump, which we're very, very pleased about. And of course, we apply this to the holiday side of things as well, but we didn't have time to show you all of that. So this has been short, but hopefully it's been reasonably sweet and useful. In this quick summary, then, what I've been doing is we've been using search term and competitor analysis tools which help us fill gaps in our target market, discover new keywords based on the activity of our key competitors. This helps us push our market click share to the very top in our strategic areas. We also have the market share and trademark infringement tools which help us to protect our brand, address and remove any infringing ads, and ensure our brand space is always our own. That's it from me. Thank you very much for having me. If anyone has any questions at all about this, fire away. Otherwise, please enjoy. Yes, sir.
So it was really interesting to know that increasing the click share using Adthena tool. So this kind of changes, how do you ensure that the new insights are returning positive ROI?
Well, so generally speaking, the better your click share is, I find it tends to correlate with a lower cost per click because it contributes to things like your quality score. It's also tied with your impression share, and it also looks at volume of business as well. What we look at is we're highly volume driven. A lot of our targets are to do with actual sales growth as well. So it's more about finding these new opportunities. Then once we've found them, we optimise those using the usual methods of optimising clicks and CPA. Is that helps? Any of this? Yes?
How often do you run these reports?
Sorry?
How often do you run these reports?
So we have a few too many. Do you mean the actual tasks or the reports of doctor management?
Yeah, exactly. So you have these reports, and then once a month
So our head of marketing takes quite a big interest in Adthena actually. So we actually send them a brand share report on a daily basis because he's very much into the brand protection. We also send a weekly one which are a bit more broad, and we also have a monthly one which includes many more of the features, including spend share, how our positions changed over the last month, and things like that. In terms of the actual tasks of building out, I'll usually do one of these per route every couple of months, just try and stay on top of it. Any others? Yes.
So in terms of brand, are you speaking of pure brand keyword or also hybrid terms?
So the brand terms that we have is based on a search term route that we put in, which is from a brand account SQR, search query report. So and of course we always build that out. It's not just Jet2 or Jet2 Holidays. It's Jet2 with all the long tail. It's everything that we have picked up with our brand. And that of course grows all the time as well as more of those come through.